CompTIA DataAI, often shortened to DataAI, is an advanced data science certification for professionals who already work with complex data, analytics, machine learning, and business decision systems. This is not a gentle beginner credential for someone just learning what a chart or spreadsheet is. It is meant for people who need to understand how data science methods are selected, tested, explained, and put to work in real organizations. In this episode, we are looking at DataAI as part of the Monday Certified feature from Bare Metal Cyber Magazine, with a focus on what the certification is, who it is for, what the exam really tests, and where it fits in a practical career path.
If this certification is on your study list, a free and complete audio course is available in the Bare Metal Cyber Academy at baremetalcyber.com, complete with a study guide and a second ebook featuring 1,000 flashcard questions. The main thing to understand is that data AI sits beyond basic data literacy. It is not just asking whether you know that artificial intelligence exists or whether you can recognize common data terms. It is aimed at people who can reason through datasets, statistical methods, model behavior, data preparation, validation, business outcomes, and operational constraints. That makes it especially relevant for data scientists, advanced data analysts, machine learning practitioners, analytics engineers, and technical leaders working near data-driven systems.
For cyber and IT professionals, this certification is also worth understanding because security work is becoming more data-heavy every year. Threat detection, fraud analytics, anomaly detection, risk scoring, security automation, and AI governance all depend on some level of data science thinking. You may not need this certification if your work is still focused on basic infrastructure, help desk, or entry-level security operations. But if your path is moving towards security analytics, detection engineering, risk modeling, or governance of AI-enabled tools, DataAI can help connect those worlds.
CompTIA is the organization behind the certification. It is one of the most recognized vendor-neutral certification providers in the IT industry, with credentials across infrastructure, cybersecurity, cloud, Linux, project work, data, and technical operations. The vendor-neutral part matters because DataAI is not designed around one cloud platform, one analytics product, or one programming language. Instead, it focuses on concepts that can move across tools, teams, and environments.
That makes the credential different from a platform-specific AI certification. A Microsoft, AWS, or Google Cloud certification may be the better choice if your job is centered on one provider's services. DataAI is more about whether you understand applied data science reasoning itself. It asks whether you can think clearly about data quality, model selection, evaluation methods, deployment realities, and business impact, even when the tools or platforms change.
The exam is organized around several broad knowledge areas. The first is mathematics and statistics. That includes topics such as hypothesis testing, regression metrics, probability distributions, linear algebra concepts, distance metrics, time series, survival analysis, causal inference, and ways to evaluate model performance. You do not need to sound like a math professor, but you do need enough fluency to understand why a method fits a problem, what its limits are, and how results can be misread.
The second major area is modeling, analysis, and outcomes. This is where raw data becomes useful insight. Candidates need to understand exploratory data analysis, feature identification, transformation, scaling, enrichment, outlier handling, model iteration, validation, visualization, and communication of results. A model can look impressive and still be wrong for the situation if the input data is poor, the assumptions are weak, or the results are presented in a misleading way.
Machine learning is another major part of the certification. The exam expects familiarity with supervised learning, unsupervised learning, tree-based methods, ensemble models, regularization, cross-validation, hyperparameter tuning, data leakage, neural networks, deep learning concepts, and dimensionality reduction. The important point is not just knowing the names of model types.
The exam rewards understanding when different methods make sense, what trade-offs they create, and how they can fail. The operations side is also important. Real data science work does not end when a model is trained. Organizations need data pipelines, data lineage, cleaning, labeling, version control, clean code, testing, deployment, monitoring, and environments that may include cloud, hybrid, edge, containerized, or on-premises systems. DataAI expects candidates to understand that a model has to live inside a real operating environment, not just inside a training notebook. The certification also touches specialized applications of data science. These can include natural language processing, computer vision, graph analysis, optimization, reinforcement learning, fraud detection, anomaly detection, and signal processing. You do not need to become an expert in every specialized field, but you should understand the basic ideas well enough to recognize use cases, limitations, and practical considerations.
One common misconception is that this exam is mostly about AI buzzwords. It is not. A better way to think about it is that the exam tests applied data science judgment. It wants to know whether you can connect the method, the data, the goal, the evaluation metric, and the operating environment. In that sense, it is closer to a professional reasoning exam than a simple vocabulary check.
The current exam is typically presented with a maximum of 90 questions. It includes multiple choice and performance-based question types, and the testing window is 165 minutes. The exam code is DY001, and the result is pass or fail rather than a familiar scaled score. CompTIA recommends 5 or more years of experience in data science or a similar role, which is another sign that the certification is not intended as a beginner starting point.
A good study plan should begin with honest self-assessment. If you are new to data work, you may need to start earlier in the path with spreadsheets, databases, SQL, Python, visualization, statistics foundations, and basic analytics before this exam becomes realistic. If you already work in analytics or data science, your study plan should focus on gaps. Some candidates are strong with tools but weak in statistics. Others know modeling but have less experience with deployment, monitoring, or communication of results.
The first phase of preparation should be orientation. Review the exam objectives and identify every term that feels unfamiliar. Do not rush into practice questions before you understand the shape of the exam. Pay attention to whether your weak areas are mathematical, analytical, machine learning focused, operational, or tied to specialized applications. The goal is to avoid studying everything with the same intensity when your real weaknesses may be concentrated in only a few areas.
The second phase should focus on foundations. Rebuild the math and statistics concepts that support the rest of the exam. Spend time with probability, distributions, regression metrics, confusion matrices, hypothesis testing, linear algebra concepts, and evaluation measures. These topics may not always feel exciting, but they are the language behind model choice and model evaluation. Without them, machine learning topics can turn into memorized labels instead of useful knowledge.
The third phase should connect concepts to workflow. Think through how a data science project moves from business problem to data collection, cleaning, exploration, feature engineering, model selection, validation, deployment, and monitoring. This is where hands-on practice helps. Work with sample datasets, clean messy data, explore features, compare models, look at false positives and false negatives. Build a simple visualization and ask whether it tells the truth clearly. These small practical exercises make the exam concepts much easier to remember.
The fourth phase should focus on operations. Review pipelines, data lineage, streaming and batching, ground truth labeling, version control, unit testing, continuous integration, continuous deployment, model deployment, container orchestration,
and performance monitoring. These topics are easy to overlook if your study plan is too focused on model types. But in real organizations, data science succeeds or fails based on whether the whole system can be trusted, maintained, updated, and explained. The Bare Metal Cyber Academy can fit into this preparation plan as a flexible study system. The free audio course is useful for orientation and repeated review when you are commuting, walking, or doing lower friction study. The study guide gives you the structured reading path when you need deeper explanation. The flashcards ebook helps with quick recall, vocabulary, model concepts, and review of weak areas. The best rhythm is simple. Listen for orientation, read for understanding, review for retention, and practice for exam readiness.
Time management also matters, because the exam can include scenario-style and performance-based items. You should practice reading carefully under pressure. Do not jump at the first answer that contains a familiar keyword. A data science question often depends on context. The right answer may change based on the business goal, the data type, the quality problem, the evaluation metric, or the deployment constraint.
From a career perspective, DataAI can support roles tied to data science, machine learning, advanced analytics, AI implementation, model evaluation, and data-driven operations. It may be useful for people moving toward data scientist, machine learning analyst, analytics engineer, AI solutions specialist, senior data analyst, technical product analyst, or data science team lead responsibilities. It can also strengthen the profile of cyber professionals working with security data, anomaly detection, fraud analytics, or AI governance.
Hiring managers are likely to view this credential as a signal of advanced data science familiarity, not as a replacement for experience. That distinction is important. Data science hiring often still depends heavily on project work, portfolios, interviews, business communication, and evidence that you can work with real datasets. The certification can strengthen your story, especially if you can pair it with hands-on work that shows you can apply the concepts. For someone building a path, DataAI usually belongs after the basics. A practical sequence might begin with data literacy, SQL, Python, visualization, statistics, and foundational analytics. From there, a learner can add project work and possibly a more introductory data credential. DataAI makes more sense once advanced topics such as model selection, machine learning, operations, and specialized applications are no longer completely new. There are also situations where a different credential may be a better fit. If your goal is business reporting and dashboards, a foundational analytics certification may be more useful. If your work is tied closely to one cloud provider, a platform-specific AI or data certification may be more direct. If your interest is governance, audit, privacy, or risk around AI, then a governance or privacy credential may pair better with practical AI literacy. The right choice depends on the role you are actually trying to reach.
The bottom line is that DataAI is best for experienced professionals who want to validate serious data science knowledge. It is not the easiest first step into analytics, and it should not be treated like an AI awareness badge. It is a stronger fit when you already understand data work and want to show that you can reason through statistics, modeling, machine learning, operations, and specialized applications in a practical way.
For cyber and IT professionals, the credential is especially interesting because the boundary between security work and data science continues to blur. Security teams depend on telemetry, models, automation, risk scoring, and anomaly detection. Governance teams need to understand how AI-enabled systems are built, monitored, and controlled. DataAI can help professionals speak across those boundaries with more confidence and better judgment.
If this certification fits your path, approach it with patience and structure. Build the foundations, connect the concepts to real workflows, practice with actual data, and review the operational side carefully. Then use the Bare Metal Cyber Academy resources as a flexible support system around that work. The free audio course, study guide, and flashcards ebook can help make a demanding certification more manageable,
without pretending that advanced data science is something you can master overnight.
Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.